Why were you then here?
To kill you.
In the business we're in, loyalty goes a long way.
Smart for the camera. How much money have I made for you? 210 million. Are you gonna send me twice the cocaine or not?
I'm surprised.
It's a whole new game these days.
It looks like the same game to me.
I really respect what you did back in the day. It's time the world knows who I am.
This isn't gonna end up well.
Boss, we got a problem.
The entire shipment?
It was hijacked. I'm gonna give you 3 days to find out who sold you out.
And if I don't find him?
You already know the answer to that.
Looks like somebody just started a war. This is the result of your choice.
I'm an American, goddammit.
I told you how this ends up, dead or in prison. Kill them all! When it happens, you'll see it coming.
Hi, I'm Joel Searles. I'm here with the Samurai Pulse. I've got Philippe A. Haddad, the lead of American Sicario, and I've got Rich Ronat, the writer of the film. It'll be coming out December 10th, so we're looking forward to it. How you guys doing?
Very well, thank you. How you doing?
Great, man. Great. Thanks for asking. How about yourself, Mr. Rich?
Great, man. Good.
Awesome.
In from 4 days of golf and many hours, and I'm sunburned and happy to be indoors. So,
Hard time. You're putting in the hard time out there. You know, it's a tough
it's
life.
all networking. I don't really like golf. It's just networking.
I hear you're pretty good at it. I hear you play for money and you beat people.
Yeah. Playing for money just yet. Nope.
Okay. Well, cool. So let's get started here in chatting.
Cool.
Can you tell me what inspired you to write American Sicario?
Well, it was actually Philippe that kind of came to me with the idea originally. It was sort of based on a series of different articles and different people. And the idea that really kind of hooked me was, taking this idea of an American guy who goes down south and joins a cartel. Like what kind of person would really actually want to do that or think to do that, actually pull it off is to me, what? It's just astonishing. And I tend to like to write characters that have a really big ambition. I tend to like that element in the psychology of a character who's someone with a really crazy goal and actually pulls it off, and then sees how long they can actually last there. So kind of like how he, the character did. So I think that was the original inspiration. And then I also just really I love cartel stories. So Sicario was great. I love watching Narcos. I actually just started watching the new Narcos season 3 of Mexico last night again. It just came on Netflix, which is cool. So it's interesting. It's a cool tone, and that world is always fascinating. Criminals. You
definitely had the right flavor, the right tone for the film, and how it was done and shot. It even it had echoes of Scarface. It had echoes of some of the classic drug thriller films. Even I think a little bit of Miami Vice kind of showed up there, which are great things.
Right.
Some of those were cinematography choices or location choices, but it seemed like it fit the characters you wrote. So you seem to pay a respectful homage, but with a homage with new characters and a new story. So
yeah, that was actually really fun to do completely new characters, and then also it's sort of a big mix of different articles I'd read and different stories I'd heard over the years, and so it's all made up in that regard, But I try to give it some grounding and some rooted in reality still.
Absolutely, it felt that way. It did. Were there any challenges you faced, on set or through the writing process you could share about?
Writing for budget is not easy to do, especially when you have a huge budget. You don't have to worry about you can be now we're in cop school and we can show 150 extras, or now we're in an airplane and a cargo drugs are being dumped out of a cargo ship. Easy, to as far as telling a well-rounded story. But when you have to focus on, hey, this is the amount of money you got to write it within this concept. up with a very intricate, layered story in that realm can be very challenging for sure. So I think that was hard to do, without like not showing like a cartel story with not a ton of action. It's not so easy,
Right. It has to be very character driven, plot driven, more of a thriller with suspense as opposed to just shots.
Yeah, and I think that's also why the tone to it almost feels a little bit like television, because it's a bit more of a slower pace in regards to character and character motivations and relationships.
Absolutely. Philippe, what drew you here to the project of American Sicario?
Well, what drew me to this character is really what draws me to any character, and that's my belief that I could portray that character well. That always kind of like is really at the foundation of it all. And it really comes down to having parallels and similarities. I think that I have a lot in common with this person, not only because he was Mexican and American, which is what I am. I'm really bicultural.
Yeah.
I was born in Mexico, but I was really raised here as well as in Mexico. So I'm totally bicultural, but is that he came from a pretty good family, well-established, well-to-do, I guess you could call it. Joined the Narcos because of something that he enjoyed, that he liked, that he always aspired to. And that's really what makes me do what I do as an actor. I really do what I do out of passion.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What was it like working with, Danny Trejo and Maurice Comte and Maya?
It was, one of my great, moments in my acting career, just to be able to share screen time with all three of those incredible actors.
Yes.
Each one of these is totally unique. And, for example, Maya is really, really talented, and she's very beautiful, and she's got this really amazing glow about her. She's incredibly cinematic. And she's fluent in French.
Yeah.
So we bonded a little bit between scenes. I got to, practice my French with her anyway. And it was really interesting to see what she brought. She played her part perfectly. Danny, what can I say? He's too big for life, man. This guy is he's a true hero, to the world and especially to the Mexican American community. And my being Mexican American as well, he was one of my great heroes. I've been watching every single one of his movies since Desperado.
Yeah.
And he's too big for any role, man. He was just fantastic. And it was really interesting, of course, to watch him play, a loving father for a change. He was the guy trying to steer me away from doing all the bad stuff. So it was interesting to see him play against a stereotype. That was really, really interesting, very interesting. And then Maurice Comte, he's just, this guy's he's a true genius. And I can't stress that enough. He's so unpredictable. He's so interesting in his choices. He's so grounded in his character that I would like to think that he brought my acting to at least to a higher level. I don't know if to his level, but definitely to a higher level. He made me really be on my toes. I couldn't relax for a second. I couldn't take my eyes off of him for a second. I was just there, just seeing which way it was going to go. And me trying to come from my character from a place of truth and just improvise on that. Definitely. So, yeah, man, it was really, really incredible to be able to share screen time with all three of them.
Awesome.
I gained 80 pounds to play this character. It wasn't immediate. It took a couple of years. This movie started with a short that I had made, and I gained some weight, and then I was looking to get the money, and then I gained more weight, and I just kind of I stayed overweight for 2-3 years. So it was very difficult just to carry the weight, to put it on, and all the psychological and emotional issues that come because you're overweight, from self-esteem and all these things. So that was really grueling, to be perfectly honest. I don't think I'll ever want to gain weight for any role ever again. Ever. If I ever do this again, it'll have to be prosthetics or some other, another way of putting on the weight other than me personally.
Except for Pavarotti.
But even then I will have to do a beer
Yeah.
or something. We'll have to figure out. There's no way I can gain another 100 pounds or 80 pounds. And at my age, it doesn't make sense. You know,
Yeah.
the health, for health reasons, it's insane.
And then
So
trying to
that was-
lose that weight, you
And
know,
then losing it and your self-esteem and your confidence and your back problems and the chiropractic, it's too much. So that was very difficult. What I always find difficult and the be all and end all for me is to be able to define that person's soul. And it's not something that I can really put into a calculator or tell you exactly what it is or pinpoint it, but
yeah,
it's something that you have to really feel as an actor. I'm like, when I feel that I have that person's soul, that when I found that person's soul, I really think that I'm there.
Mm.
And then the third and final challenge is to be able to display that person in front of the camera.
Right.
You know,
It's
Yeah.
it's an organic process, but it also you have to hit your marks. You know, it's like trying to catch lightning in a bottle many times.
Yeah.
You know, so interesting. And what are you most proud of, Philippe, of how the film turned out?
I think it would have to come down to, let me see, probably three different things.
Yes.
The first one is that we accomplished a movie maybe in the worst moment in cinematic history due to the worldwide pandemic,
Right.
which was COVID. This was probably the most difficult time period for cinematic history. It was really difficult. Nothing was going on. Agencies were like, unemploying not only their staff, but their clients. And so for us to have done a movie within that time period is a feat unto itself.
Mm.
The second one is that we did it in 12 shooting days, which is just astounding to do a whole movie in like
Wow.
no time at all. That was insane.
Yeah.
And then of course that we sold it and got it distributed, which is the last and final frontier. So a combination of all those three things just amazes me. And we have to give credit to RJ Collins and everybody that was involved. We all moved mountains to make this movie happen.
Yeah, you had a lot of talented people behind the scenes working, and you've made a film. It's profitable because you sold it, and now it's going to get distributed. And it's you've run the whole gamut, and the fact you did it in 12 days is that's new to me.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, that's like. I mean, I've heard of indie films doing 18-day shoots. I've been on an 18-day shoot before, but 12 with that cast and with the weaponry and the fact you had Danny and everybody else, it's like that's rare, and so it's something to be proud of.
And for me, like that I was playing the lead, it was just like somebody flew in today, and then I got 2 days with them, and then the next person comes in, and I'm playing like ping pong.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing with a whole line of people, the challengers, and I'm just like, and I have to have the whole script in my head, and it was just insane. It was really grueling. It was.
You're playing in the World Series.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah.
You're a rookie. You're first or second year player, and it's game time. Like you got to go perform.
And you have to bat, and you're the only batter the whole game.
Yeah, like you're just okay. And now on second base, we're gonna have a pinch runner, and then the runner somehow gets put back in the batter's circle. I don't think that's legal in baseball, but it is in film. You bat in the batter's circle.
Right.
Yeah.
Rich, and this is just for recording's sake. And I think there was a hiccup in it. Can you just touch on what it was like having Danny Trejo in your film? Just some of those comments again, real quick.
Yeah. It was awesome, man. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Desperado back in the day as a kid. So watching him just be a terrifying bad guy, just like trying to eliminate anyone he could. He was like genuinely, it was like him and like Robert Patrick in T2.
Yeah.
Like those two characters to me, they don't speak much, but when they come after you, you're just terrified. You're like, this is terrible. This guy's just like relentless. You know what I mean? And just such presence. And so then it was cool to see him kind of, be the opposite in this film, where he's like an older, retired cartel guy, who's already been there, done that, but he actually just wants to be there for his daughter and her unborn, child. So it's like a different side to him, but he's still badass. So that was really cool. It was a different, he's actually got a lot of heart. a lot of heart and soul, so.
Yes. Thanks for that. What are your next projects and goals?
This next one we're doing actually together with Philippe is a project called Brando, which is a story about a guy who has schizoaffective disorder and thinks he's Marlon Brando. And he when he goes out into the world, that's what he puts on, and it all kind of connects back to his dad dying in a car accident, and then him and his father sharing a real love for old Brando films.
Yeah.
And as soon as because schizoaffective disorder is triggered by trauma, he takes on this personality of speaking like Marlon Brando ever since his dad passed away. So, and he lives in his mom's basement, and he just really wants to be normal and to have a normal life and go meet girls and just be like in the world. And so he's really like a big kid,
Yeah.
So we're actually going to be shooting, I think, in mid to late February in LA. It takes place set in Van Nuys, present day. Good old lovely Van Nuys, California. Everyone's vacation destination. So that's the next one, and I'm really excited because we shot a little proof of concept for it. It's getting a bunch of really good feedback, and I'm excited to really see that as a feature, and to work with Philippe. And Philippe's great to work with as an actor, so he's very malleable and super creative, and so it's just kind of making sure he fits in the material.
He's the next Brando. If he wants to.
Yeah. It's weird because even in the proof of concept when he was doing Brando, he melt. Like a few people were like, he kind of looks like Brando right there. What the hell? Like it was weird.
You want me to tell you about my next project?
Oh yeah, I mean you're gonna play.
Yeah.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So the first one is Brando, which Rich very eloquently spoke about right now. That I don't think I should tell you anymore. He just told you, but. Rich will be directing, which is something that I'm really, really looking forward to. I pushed him to direct, and I will take the credit for that. I promised him since the very beginning, I'm like, if we do this movie, you're directing, and that's it. And since then, he caught the directing bug, and I'm really looking forward to it because he and we just work so well together. He knows how to direct me. He I don't know if a lot of people know this or not, but Rich was an actor for 15 years, or I think maybe even a little bit more. So he really understands the process. He knows exactly what my weaknesses are as an actor.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of it, he's really good at letting me know nicely what I need to work on. You know what I mean? Like he knows how to give me criticism without being rude and abrupt. So he knows how to tell me what I need to work on. So anyway, so that's the first project, Brando. And then I got Bruiser, which is another project written by Rich as well. And that's, the Italian and the Irish mafia, the story about a hitman who discovers that he has a son. And it's basically a story about the reconciliation between him and his son. So it's a really interesting action kind of movie. We have another one called The Translator, which is more of a spy thriller set for now anyway in the Ukraine.
Yes.
Hopefully we can get that off and running somewhere in the middle or late summer. And then another one called The Crisis Actor, about a guy who is an actor. He's struggling in Hollywood. He can't catch a break. He can't find a job. And then he finds himself doing these strange and weird kind of acting jobs. So it's more of a comedy with a little bit of action and, romance mixed in.
Wonderful.
Also written by Rich, by the way. All four of these are written by Rich.
Well, there's no other screenwriters in Hollywood. It's just Rich. That's it.
Right.
And that's it. Dude. We really work well together. Have you noticed?
Great.
We like working together.
Yeah. Keep going. Keep lining stuff up. Keep knocking the pins down. And, it's one thing to write a script in Hollywood. It's one to sell it. And it's a much, harder thing to get it made and then, get it distributed. You guys have already done that. And so, you've got the success going for you and the momentum. And you just keep pressing that. And now's the time. The world's opening back up. COVID, knock on wood here is, going to go away. And, hopefully we'll be back to making more movies. And you gents will be back on set here soon. So
yeah, man.
looking forward to the Brando feature. I've seen the proof of concept. I really enjoyed that. Enjoyed your portrayal in that, Philippe.
Thank you.
There were a couple of times in the watching it, I was like, "Is that really Brando?" Like, it was about split second. I'm like, I know reality, and know where we're at, but it fooled me. It was so good. So my
Thank
hope
you.
is that the public will see that when it comes out sometime probably next year after it's filmed. So
Thank you.
with that, it's been a pleasure. And is there anything else you gents want to share or come into your mind?
Not really. Thank you for your time. We appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks,
you
Joel.
for
Thanks
the
for having us,
interview.
buddy.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
It's always
It's
a
a pleasure.
pleasure.
Yeah, getting to speak with fellow entrepreneurs and cinephiles, people who love the movies.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, hey, great. You guys have a wonderful rest of your day, rest of your evening now. But look forward to talking with you here again soon.
Cool. Thanks, Joel.
Definitely. Thank you. Thanks for having us, Joel. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks again, buddy.